Hello everyone, Darren here, and welcome back to Cities Skylines. Now in the last episode, we focused on growing the population and trying to improve the traffic problem. Our streets are packed with cargo trucks trying to get to their various commercial centers, and it's been a real challenge to reduce that volume and increase the ease of trucks just getting to their destinations more directly. Today, we're going to focus again on traffic, as well as building out the first part of the waterfront at the north of the city, improving education and reducing unemployment. It's actually pretty low unemployment already, but we have a small issue with regards to getting the right job for the right education level assigned to the right person. So firstly, I've got a quick time lapse for improving the interchange towards the airport, which we touched on in the end of the previous episode, and building out the foundations for the waterfront. Let's begin. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so just so you can kind of place where we are right now, this is the coastal road that's over on the sort of west side of the town that I had temporarily in the last episode just dug underneath the train tracks and out towards the airport. So now, deleted that road, building it now with a bit more deliberate planning in mind, slightly, and I've decided to go over the railway just to keep it consistent with what we've done before, which is this very steady incline of the land all the way up to create this sort of mini land bridge over the railway, and then you smoothen out the edges so it just looks like natural part of the landscape. That's a very common thing in the UK, and in Ireland as well, actually, where I'm originally from. But in the south of the UK, anytime you're ever crossing a railway bridge or a highway or a big arterial main road, always seems to have these either side of it, these sort of natural land raises or inclines, I guess, that you wouldn't even really, it just looks like it's all part of the landscape, but I assume they must have actually filled these in and built them bespoke, or dug the road out. It's one or the other, right? So anyway, I digress. So just going with one of those, I think it looks quite natural and quite good. However, I am trying to endeavor to get better at building interchanges. So I was going to go with like a standard cloverleaf here. It's like a four-way interchange. And I was like, you can see me putting it down and looking at it. I was like, okay, how does this work? Could I do this on my own? Or could I come up with something even better? So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But again, roughly around where I drive, and a few people have pointed this out in the comments. They're isolating where I live, I guess. There's a roundabout nearby me called Pease Pottage Roundabout near Crawley. So Crawley is the place that you can look up if you want to see this. And I haven't done my test yet. I'll be doing it very soon once this video comes out. But basically, it's described as a trial by fire because it's right next to the test center as you come out. And you're onto this like 3-lane sort of roundabout that's over a highway that connects to all these different places. It's very complicated and messy. It's guided by traffic lights though. But I was still encouraged by its design, even though people hate it, just to see if I could do something similar in game. So I've created this large sort of halo around. I'm just using a 2-lane road rather than a 3-lane, which is like in real life. So it's sort of like a 2-lane halo, and then just on-ramps and off-ramps onto the highway and onto the side main roads. Now, seems pretty simple, but the sort of joints of the on-ramps and off-ramps join onto each other, you know? It's almost like you can just stay on on-ramps the entire way, rather than ever joining the main sort of halo bit. So you're only going to go around the inner roundabout if you're choosing to go further in to a different turn. But if you're just taking the first exit, you don't really have to join it at all. And that's kind of the benefit, I guess, of something like this. So, I don't know, I was just playing around to see if I could do it. Very finicky. Unfortunately, I am actually happy with how it works, and we'll show it later in the episode, but I don't get it looking very good. I just couldn't get it to, like, be symmetrical. The nodes are just playing havoc. I've cut a lot out of this time-lapse. There's a lot of trial and error trying to bend things into the right shape and just get it working, so I've done the best I can, but it's not quite the shape it should be. But it's kind of interesting all the same. It's not quite symmetrical, which I would have liked. But anyway, I've just applied the TMPE rules to make it a roundabout on the inner lanes, and then I used some lane connector stuff myself, just to make sure that people don't take turns they shouldn't. Like here, they're trying to take a left turn, so just prevent them from doing that. And then it operates pretty much as you'd expect, and I actually think it looks pretty good. I'm actually surprised, to be honest, the game handles junctions so close to each other like this, because a lot of these little junctions have 4 ways on and off, multiple lanes, and then they're joining a highway or they're joining a main road. I thought it'd be a bit too complicated for the game to handle, but it works pretty well. Alright, now we're getting over to the meat and potatoes of the episode. We're going to be building out the waterfront, kind of copying the similar style I had over at the industrial harbor. Because of the difference in height of terrain from the coast, like the proper waterfront, and just that main arterial road that goes around our city, our bypass, because the terrain difference is so high there, it seems like it needs 2 separate quay walls. So we'll have an inner quay wall, and then one that's actually touching the water further out. So that's very similar to how I just did it in the industrial sector. So I had to build this a few times, and it was kind of finicky. I was trying to think, could we put a pathway in between this and the road? The issue is the terrain that's kind of creeping out, so I was struggling to get it to work. So the way I could get it to work is to put down another road right next to it using the parallel tool in the, is it the node controller mod? I can never remember the name of those. I'm so sorry. But you know what it is if you check the description anyway. But yeah, so putting that road right next to the key wall eliminates all the sort of terrain that was kind of clipping out from it. And it just makes it look a lot nicer. Now, unfortunately, I talk about it a little bit in the episode actually, but there's no pathway down, at least in a reasonable area, and that's just because the game doesn't really offer pathways that come down from the keys. So in real life, like being in Rome not that long ago, walking along the Tiber River, there are all these different, it's exactly what we have here. We've got 2 key walls, at least in certain parts, and there's these pathways, little staircases I should say, that go down at, you know, periodic intervals every time there's like going to be another junction, really, so you can kind of get up and get out from the river if you want to. But you don't really have that in this game. I don't know if there's a mod for that, like to actually build it into the key wall. So what I decided to do is just place in a pathway here myself that kind of loops around, rather than what it would be in real life, which is kind of like more like a staircase. Don't know if there are any pedestrian staircases that I can use, but I'm almost certain I've seen a mod for that. But that's basically what I would need if I wanted to make it work, as I'm describing. Anyway, so the waterfront, the idea here is supposed to be, it's like a little commercial zone. Unfortunately, it does have that giant industrial harbor there. We talk about that a little bit later, so I don't want to be too redundant. But effectively what I was trying to do is just have a series of shops, maybe some tourism stuff in here. You want to have like the jet ski rental building, a pier, a marina, restaurants, those kind of things out on the water. Excuse me. And try to make it look as natural as possible as you're getting down to here. But I was finding just terrain shapes, pedestrian pathways, all this stuff was very messy. So what I ended up deciding to do in this little corner here was trying to break it up with some trees, just so that it didn't look like this was just part of the road, which is a path anyway. And then also some of these additional rocks and things that could be placed around to make it look much more natural and more deliberate, like it was placed there on purpose. Now the idea would be that if this goes well, we'll extend the waterfront further down. So this would just be like one of the first sections of it, but it'll kind of move out further and hopefully get more and more elaborate along the entire coast as we do that. And we'll have multiple fishing piers that people can then commute between the different areas on the water if they want. Maybe fishing, well, not fishing tours, but the, yeah, sort of just like a little tourism boat ride, I guess. Something I meant to say when talking about the interchange earlier, just before this one wraps up, is that I was watching the YouTube channel Overcharged Egg, who does Cities Skylines videos. He's playing Cities Skylines 2 at the moment. And I'm really impressed. I mean, I've seen many creators and stuff, but I'm very impressed by how he's done his roads. Especially with, I'm trying to get better at doing interchanges, right? That's what I was kind of like browsing around. Also, my feed is just full of Cities Skylines 2 stuff right now anyway. But I saw that he did like a triple tiered level interchange of some sort, and also just like a highway in a city. So there's like this big bridge that comes in. Underneath that there's like an interchange underneath the kind of bridge, then underneath that there's like some main roads as well. It just looks really great, really natural and organic and complex. So I'm trying to, you know, look around and see if I can get ideas about where to do those kind of things if they make sense. I think forward planning and knowing where you're going to need these different heights and stuff is the big challenge. So I've just built a pretty flat city overall. So gonna keep trying to get better at that, and certainly Cities Skylines 2 seems to make it look easy when you're building out big roads like that, because there's so many dynamic options with the roads. Also, apologies, my nose seems to be blocked today, and I've recorded this after recording the main episode, so apologies if I sound a bit different. Alright, that's pretty much going to be it. We'll have a look now in just a moment. Alrighty, so of course this is going to be the first stages of our waterfront, which are now basically done and in position, the sort of double key wall design with a bunch of roads in between to allow room for zoning in the future and some tourism buildings. Of course though, smack bang in the middle of it we have this, for logistical reasons, a giant cargo harbor which can deliver goods straight into it, which allows us to deliver goods more directly into the heart of the city. At least that was the idea. So just to give you an overall picture of the sort of city portion of our city, rather than the suburbs, we have basically two areas that can deliver cargo to our commercial zones. We have the large train terminal over here, which has a cargo terminal off on the side, so trucks are going to be coming out of that and delivering cargo, a lot of them into the service point, which is right here. That service point sort of caters for basically everything from this line to the right of it, right? So there's a huge pedestrian area all around that area there that's basically handled by that service point. So if they need to get anything in terms of commercial goods and cargo, that train should be the one to do it, you would think. So that's all service there, and then of course some trucks are going to be coming out and feeding other parts of the city on the maybe the east side or the right side here. That's actually the west side, really. The other plan was then to have this terminal deliver things then more directly into the heart of the city, because of course things are just getting really backed up. So it's kind of like now saying, okay, east and west now they each have a cargo terminal, some way of getting cargo into the heart of the city without just having to come in through the highway. That was at least the idea. But what we're going to do is have a look here and see where these different vehicles are actually going, because I've noticed something. Now I don't know if this is going to work on first attempt, but we'll just have a look. So a bug spray van, where are you heading off to? Okay, so you're going straight down through here, you're taking a right turn, you're going back out to the highway, you're crossing a bridge, and you're going deep into the heart of the suburbs, you're crossing over the suburbs, and you're going all the way to Franklin Heights. Now that, call me crazy, but that does not seem like a very efficient or optimal route to get to Franklin Heights. But damn it, that's where he's coming from. For whatever g-darn reason, he's choosing to use the downtown harbor to get to the suburbs, rather than just using the industrial harbors out here. So let's see, what are the other options? Why is he doing that rather than just going from here? You've got a hybrid train and cargo, harbor, a train and harbor kind of cargo hub. We have a regular cargo harbor, and we've got another train terminal right here. So these could all generate vehicles that could just easily follow this main road here. They could go on the outer bypass all the way around, and boom, you're at Franklin Heights. Straight up. Same destination, but much quicker, less complicated, less junctions, and a good speed limit on that road as well. So why are they coming in here, going through huge amounts of traffic, getting onto multiple different types of road, crossing a bridge, going around 4 roundabouts before they get to it? I don't know. And I can't fix that. I don't know what's wrong. So the idea was that this should just service here. Now, if there's a way to do that, please God, let me know, because I'd love to be able to just isolate it to delivering things to just like a district that's around them or something. That'd be perfect. But what I'm noticing is it's like every second truck is basically going somewhere very suboptimal, and I have no idea why it's this one or not that one or a different one. So this box truck, for instance, is going into the heart of the commercial area. That's exactly what you want them to do, but I don't have any control over it. So I just thought I should outline that and mention it, because of course we're trying to cut down on traffic, and yet my big-brained idea of building a cargo harbor closer to a commercial district doesn't seem to have done anything, really. In fact, it's probably adding to the traffic problem if it's creating vehicles in downtown that are then trying to get out. Anyways, I digress. We've got a lot to do in this episode, so let's get to work. One of the first things I want to get doing before we tackle more of the traffic problem is building out a sort of an expansion here. So, we've got a bit of a population issue. We're actually at 3% unemployment now, which isn't too bad. We were at 4% right at the beginning. So we have 47,000 people are currently employed, and 52,000 people, 52,000 jobs exist. So there's 5,000 jobs with nobody filling them, even though there is some unemployment. And that's because the education level of those people aren't quite matching these 5,000 empty jobs. Now, what I did do during the time lapse was I actually lifted all of these buildings and replaced them on the advice of people in the comments, and that has sort of refreshed who's gotten what jobs. So there's no more, 50 highly educated people working the slaughterhouse. There's now just 5 out of 5, so it's all working correctly. So it's definitely redressed the balance a lot better. It cost me a fair chunk of change to just put down buildings again, but at least it's kind of made things work out. We also just had way too many jobs. So this area here, Washington Business Park, has been completely dezoned. Now the idea is we will rezone it as the population increases again, but I just wanted to kind of reset a bunch of things so we can start adding them back in soon, as we do have some demand for industry, and I think we've got a decent amount of uneducated or lower tier education that needs to be filled, so we'll give them some jobs again. One thing I'm going to do really quickly though, actually, is build out 2 more taxi depots. Just going to put one there, another one here. I'd actually meant to do this beforehand, and we'll just change these to being yellow cabs. The reason for that is because I've noticed over towards the airport that we've got a lot of people waiting for taxis. They're just tourists that are just standing here waiting for taxis. They're also waiting very randomly over here, and they'll often just generate cars. That's where that car is just pulled away from. Now, right now, there happens to be no one there, but I've seen like 3 or 4 people just standing there, and then every now and then a taxi will pick them up, or they'll just pull a pocket car out of their pocket and just start driving. So I don't know what's going on there, why people are walking to here and doing that. I've seen them just crossing this little crosswalk, standing there, and then getting a taxi. We do have multiple taxi ranks here, but they're empty. And I've just noticed that even the taxi depot down here has 32 out of 32. It just seems like there's a big demand for taxis and everyone's using them. Now, I guess you could say, ideally, you wouldn't really want more cars on the road, right? You'd kind of want them just to take the train. We have a train station built in here. It brings you to the center of the city. Can actually give you a connection point to any other part of the city, as can the bus. And that's what the buses do. Not many people get them, though. 6 out of 40. Now, this bus is the airport to Victoria line, which means it's going straight over to Victoria Square. It's actually not going into the center of the city. There's 2 different lines. One takes you to the center. One takes you to the center of the suburbs. Anyways, just thought I should mention all these things so we can all kind of get familiar and recognize some of the issues that the city is facing. If we have a look at maybe... Oh, you can actually see them picking people up right here. I would love it if they picked people up on their actual taxi stands. That's kind of what the original idea was. Now, there's people also waiting right outside the terminal, waiting for taxi, and they do just pull by and pick people up. So that's also fine as well. So, you know, I'm fine with that. I never noticed how much oil there was there. I guess it just looks like farmland. Anyways, all right, so that's... Oh, yeah, we should just really quickly look at this exchange now that it's built. It works pretty well. I know it doesn't look the best, and it's not symmetrical. I tried. I really did try to make it symmetrical, but there's only so many minutes in an hour, and I can only do so much. But yeah, it actually functions so really well. Very happy with it in terms of its functionality. I didn't think the cars would really work properly on it. The only issue is I think they slow down a lot when they're going onto this particular on-ramp. But other than that, all the other ramps work totally fine. So I'm okay with that being an issue. So this basically, just for people who want to know, works like a roundabout, right? We have this big halo here as a roundabout, and then it's just several on and off ramps that get you on and off the various... onto the roundabout, basically, and allows you to go pretty much wherever you want. So if you just want to come up here and just go straight off, you just stay in that right lane, and that's where you end up going. If you want to go onto the roundabout, you're on the left lane, you're going on the inside. From here, you can choose to get onto the left or right lane. If you're ever on the left, it means you keep circling around. If you're ever on the right, it means you're coming off somewhere. And very happy with how it's working. I think it's pretty good. Tried to do something different, you know? Just something. Rather than just using a clover leaf. Okay, alright, let's get building. Actually, what's going on down here? So I made some adjustments. Yeah, I'm just going to delete that. Just before the episode started, and I think that was causing a problem there. Basically, just to really quickly cover what I did, was I made vehicle restrictions more restrictive, I guess, on these roads. So basically, on the outer lanes, which are the taxi and bus lanes, I've banned private cars and I've banned trucks, because I could see them using it quite a lot. And then on the inner lanes, I've banned taxis and banned buses, because they were using it quite a lot. So now, you kind of have to, maybe it's a bit silly, but if you're a taxi, you sort of have to stay out in the taxi lane. But it does seem to work a little bit better doing that, because it was really messy before. I know it's messy now, that's just because we had a glitch. When you change these things sometimes with a tram or something on it, it gets confused. So you just have to delete the tram. It'll roll a fresh one back out. Everything will get going again. And they'll spread out, don't worry. It'll look better in the future. Alright, anyways, I digress so much. We're going to get building. So, to get started here, what these guys need is a new school. So we're going to delete the area here. If we want to just have a look at zoning to refamiliarize ourselves, it's all residential here at Fairview. Then we have a little commercial zone here. And then this is kind of a problem area that I want to tackle for traffic. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but I want to build this area out first, just so we can get the ball rolling for education and bring up the education level just slightly. Effectively, for education, our biggest issue is that we need more of the second and third tier. We kind of need less of the fourth tier. The first tier is kind of fine. So 30%, maybe 20, and then whatever remains will be kind of ideal. So yeah, we've actually, this one university, surprisingly, where is it? Here, Carlo Valley, has surprisingly, like, overeducated our people. I just thought with nearly 90,000, how that wouldn't really have happened with a place that can only take 4,000, I think, in total. Yeah, but it has. Alright, so, let's get to work. So we'll just delete the power there. So this is actually a 4-lane road. I'm just going to brighten it up just a little bit. I kind of talked for a little too long there at the beginning. And we'll just grab this. Wow, that was a crazy flip of the camera. Just get this, just going to extend it further out that way. Maybe join this across here. Bring that all the way across there. Let's see, we're going to get this road and nice. It was able to do it nice and straight. Okay, so what we've got here is a child healthcare center and a medical clinic. Alright, so I've just kind of been thinking around about what I could do, a little trial and error. I think I've got a good idea in mind now. So we're going to build out a couple elementary schools, a high school, and a park to kind of serve the area as well. So what we'll do is just grab our 2-lane road with grass, we'll pull it in from here and connect it over to the metro station, although we might shorten that road in just a second. I just want to kind of gauge the distance we're going to need here. So we'll want to go with the community school again, if we can find it. There it is. So community school right on the edge, that is an elementary school. It acts as an elementary school. Everybody's loving it. It's just on the side there. It looks nice. And of course, this is across from a commercial area. We have our child healthcare center and a medical center there as well. The next thing then is we're going to break this road along this side. Don't know how far in we'll have to go. Just to about there. And I'm going to snap away this one actually. So just nice curve in around to the side. Now we're going to use one of the modded schools. The nice happy-go-lucky Wahrunga Elementary School. And colorful. So those two can kind of work together. Sort of as one unit. Not sure what we can put in that gap there. I'll give it a second. What I'd like to do, though, is give these guys some sort of playground. So we'll just shift this in a bit. And we're going to go with... God, it's so loud just over this part of the town. It's just put your camera over these buildings and it's just screaming at you. So we've got the large playground is the one I wanted. And I'm just going to pop it in here temporarily and then we'll just move it. So I'll just get that. There we go. We'll just flip it around. See if we can attach into the road there. So it's a little tricky because obviously it's got so many trees. So something like that seems to work. I actually didn't think the road was going to connect there. And the trees are slightly spilling over to that small playground. I guess you could... I guess it doesn't really matter. There's trees in there anyway. Just keep them off the pathway. That's pretty good. I think it could be better though. Let's get this road. We'll get a gravel road and see what it looks like if we just built it off to the side here. I think I'll go with the dirt path instead actually, because that just isn't really working out. So even just the dirt path there looks a little bit better, I think. Yeah, I wanted a bit more of a clear walking area from one point to the other. And I guess we'll just leave it the way it is. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, right, we'll leave it like that. We can put some trees in to kind of cover up the area just a little bit. So we've got a big amount of room here. I think a high school would be good here, and we could use one of the modded ones. Just to add some variety. The JP School Library. JP High School. I think this is the one. And... yeah, that's perfect, because then it leaves us a little pathway that we can bring from here to here. So we'll just get a regular pathway, we'll just extend it like this, and then I can move it into position. Maybe move that over there. So we've got this nice little stretch here, maybe some trees to kind of finish off the area. I'm not sure about the back of it. It's quite close to the pavement. I almost think that it should just be more pavement. I don't know if that'd be strange. Let's grab this, and we'll bring this one to do the same on this side. Maybe something like that. It's a shame about that tree. I guess to avoid that tree, what I was going to do was put trees along the side here. But to avoid the one that's baked into the playground, I'll just move this, I guess, instead. You could still do it, I suppose, if we really wanted to. Might look okay. Alright, let's try this then. So let's just grab a tree from somewhere over here. One of these ones is usually good. We'll use our line tool. Maybe put it up to, I don't know, 16? Something like that. Let's go down to 14. That's a bit better. That's alright. Now, for this area, I don't know. I think it's weird that it's grass, but I think all of it being concrete might look also equally strange. But let's just see. Well, actually, you know what? We could choose the paving inside the airport. Yeah, I actually had it selected from something earlier. So, it would have to be something like this, I guess. Is that too much? Maybe a couple food trucks or something here at the back next to the metro station would make sense. So I think I'll fill that in a bit later. I just thought the grass might be a little strange. But maybe not. You guys will let me know and I can change it. Alright, cool. So, in here, there might be room for like a little basketball court or a tennis court. I think that's... What is that one? That's a tennis court. So try the basketball court here. Oh yeah, with Anarchy I guess it would fit. Barely, but I think we can just about get away with it. About there. Some of the trees are brushing up against the building. Does that matter too much? You can sink them into it that you don't see them. I don't think it matters too much, because it's not in the building. The trees are outside, but they're just at the back. Could maybe randomize them just slightly. So if we look at trees. So we want to go individual props in these buildings. There we go. And then we have to just look at all the different trees and see which ones are right in there. Just turn the probability down to 4. What about one of the other ones at the back there? Okay. That's probably going to change them at some of the other basketball courts, but I think that's alright. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We can just then throw in a couple extra trees. Some of these other places. And there we go. We've got a little education area. We've got the healthcare center for children, and then the regular medical clinic as well. I'm pretty happy with that. Looks alright. Alright, so what we'll need to do next is start building out extra residential area, and then we'll let time play, let it all grow, let people get educated, and we'll try to tackle the traffic problem. So what I was thinking in this area was basically... Well, basically just more residential. So we're just going to grab these streets that we've been using before. Yeah, I guess maybe just come straight down here. Now this can go almost all the way down. But I suppose we want to leave a bit of a gap. Let's go down to 14. That's a bit better. That's alright. Now, for this area, I don't know. I think it's weird that it's grass, but I think all of it being concrete might look also equally strange. But let's just see. Well, actually, you know what? We could choose the paving inside the airport. Yeah, I actually had it selected from something earlier. So, it would have to be something... Alright, I thought it was a little bit better to time-lapse that. So, effectively, we've got, I think, a decent little pattern of streets and crosswalks and pathways that kind of cut between them. In fact, we'll just do one last thing. I hope it doesn't ruin anything, but just pop this in there and do the same here. A little crosswalk that goes straight across there. Just to connect the pathways up, I guess. Let's see, did that break zoning at all? It kind of reset it actually here. So maybe I could just see if I can update that just real quick. Let's grab this one, and I think we just wanted to point out to the left. There we go. I think everything else is okay. There's a few gaps that have appeared now, but... Yep. That's alright by me. And in fact, just because we have this big gap that's appeared over on this side anyway, we'll just connect this over. Alright, cool. Let's zone it. So we'll just zone that to be all high-density residential. And they have their water and everything piped underneath. They'll basically use the school. We could extend the district. I don't mind just calling this Fairview and continuing it out this way. They actually have the policy on for schools out, but it does say that the citizens will prefer working over education, and only a small portion of eligible citizens will go to university. So I'm assuming they still go get educated and everything, most of them. It's just that some of them just don't go to university, which would be ideal actually if we could get it to be like that way. Alright, let's let time play, see what damage we've done as these different houses start to appear. No more commercial areas are going to be needed or anything. Hopefully these extra people can boost our population and pass 90,000, you would hope. Let's start, while time is now playing, fixing this particular area. So I was saying in the last episode that, you know, I put in a service point here next to the cargo center, and I thought this is a brilliant idea, right? Trucks are going to come out here, they're just going to go straight in there, and then they'll go around this one-way loop that we made and just go back into their terminal. But unfortunately what's happening is they're actually backing up and causing traffic here even when they're just trying to pull into there. So I'm just going to move the park maintenance building. We're just going to move this out of here for now, temporarily. The crematoriums can probably also move. Maybe we could actually put them where the other crematoriums are. that's again kind of temporary. I need to do up that area. But just need to get them out of there. I want to get all these extra little vehicles that are clogging up this area with traffic out of here. Waste transfer facility, be gone. Whoops. Oh, we have to empty it first. Yeah, so we'll empty this out first, and then we're just going to move it somewhere else until we decide where it should go. Let's just do something like that. Just give this upgrade, put it back. All right, cool. So, has power been cut to the airport? I think so. Here we go. Alright, so I've got a new idea with this place. I don't know if it's going to work. Haven't tried it yet. But effectively, this loop doesn't really work. I'm going to create a double loop. I think. So let me gauge how big this is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles across. Right, I can see the line. Just going to have to try and remember it. It's right about there. Okay. Now, I'm going to, I think, rotate it this way. And then we're going to move this building here. This one can actually fit there too. So I'll need to extend out the pedestrian zone just this little bit. And this is the service point. That can go on the inside there. Oh, it technically doesn't fit. We'll just anarchy that one. It's got a lot of nothing at the back for some reason. It actually fits just totally fine. So that's grand. Alright, great. So, now when trucks pull out, they should make a turn if they need to go into this, or they should keep going if they don't. Because if you do make a turn here, you can't go out that way. That's a one-way road as well, right? Got another idea. I don't know, this might be a bit wild. Gonna reverse the whole thing. Yeah. I don't want them going that way. So here's the idea. This area is super busy. Just extremely busy. And everything around here is just so busy, so jam-packed. So I want to get the traffic to flow all the way out here, get onto this road. If they want to get onto the highway, they can do that. Don't think they need to. But if they want to go into the town, they should take this in. So no one's using the outer bypass. So we want to get them onto the outer bypass. That's at least my goal. So let's try to get them to do that. Now the only way I can think to do that is... This is a one-way road. Do we make that a one-way as well? It seems like a big area that I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. No, we won't make it a one-way. But we're going to do a weird rule where we say you're not going to be allowed to turn right. So no turning right here. Yeah, people could turn right there, but we'll ban this from truck traffic, so that's fine. And that should be it. Now, we'll also get a little crazy and ban them from trucks even using this segment. And this one as well. So no truck traffic is happening in there. We'll do that again in here. No truck traffic. I know you could just do that district thing, actually. I guess that might be better. So, they can't turn right here. They're not allowed. So that's fine. You're not going to be going down that way. Alright, I guess we'll just follow, see what happens. I'm just worried about, like, are people gonna be trying to take this to get into these areas? I'm not too sure. We're gonna move the waste transfer as well, so hopefully that'll ease traffic. So traffic, let's just have a look at what we're at now. 67. Pretty bad. Let's see if this helps. This is still operational, right? Yep. Okay, so some of our houses are starting to pop in. We will have a bit of a traffic issue while new people are moving in. We always get that. But this should be an interesting redirection of what's happening in here. And if you're going around this way, it means you're dropping stuff off, and then you're going to here to go home. Or back where you came from, I guess. So we'll give that a bit of time, see if this smoothens things out. I'm hoping it will. Alright, so while we're waiting on that, and waiting for people to move in and all sorts, we have a demand for commercial now. So we'll start to give these guys a little bit of commerce. Low density commercial zone. Now I noticed actually, one thing's a bit odd about this place. The zoning's on the inside. I feel like it should be out facing the waterfront, right? That'd be a bit unusual otherwise. So what we'll do is I'll have to say no zoning. And just select the regular road. No zoning on you guys. To about there, I think. These ones can be on the inside because it's industry on the other side, I guess. So we'll turn back on zoning and do an upgrade out on this side now. There's a tiny segment there, which is really weird. I feel like I should probably just get rid of that segment, to be honest. Yeah, that doesn't need to be there. So let's grab our node removal. Bonk. Hopefully that's okay. And we can even maybe add one in where we want the stuff to change. So right there would be good. And that node could actually maybe be a crossing. Right, so what's that done to zoning now? It's broken it up a little bit, which is good. There we go. A little bit better. Just a little bit. Alright, so that's enough messing around with that. Let's clear this one at the back as well, I guess. And that's that. Okay, so let's start zoning. So we'll just give this a little bit of low density commerce just in the middle here. Let a couple pop in, just small. At first, what we'll need now is it pedestrian zone? No. Oh, it's tourism and leisure. I remember now. So what we want to have here is, oh, we have a fishing pier. We have fishing tours, jet ski rental, a marina, and a restaurant. So we want the restaurant pier right there. Might even put another one in maybe down here. Marina could go in the center, perhaps, or something like that. And then we need a ferry stop. So we've got two types. We have one with a single stop or one with two. I think we'll just go with the single. Ah, unfortunately, this has its own road component. Yeah, okay. Damn, I just did all that zoning. I'm so sorry, but we're going to have to delete this bit. Select that and put it right in around there. And then we'll have to just move it forward to make it kind of at the same distance as the other roads. Okay, and then grab this curve tool, zoning back on. I think the orientation of that makes it a bit strange. Better. Okay, good. Alright, so we've got our ferry pier in there. We can move this down just a little bit. Or it's tempting to put it even in further in here. Another restaurant. Is it weird to have two piers? I think the whole thing's kind of weird. This is right on the edge, so I'll move that forward. Move that one a bit forward. That has to stay where it is, really. Yeah, I'll leave that there. And you know what could go in on the side? Maybe jet ski rental near the big cargo harbor thing. That might make a bit more sense. Maybe. High-pitched voice. Jet ski rental. Okay. Alright, so give it the water it needs, and then with the zoning popping in a minute, they should get some power. So that's why we'll just zone this, this, and this. I'll give them some power, hopefully. Alright, let's see what happens. Trust me, I know it's a little strange, obviously, with the cargo harbor, but I just, again, like I said, I'm not sure what I can do about that. Now, we've got a little bit of sand creeping in here. Can we maybe do something with that? Might make it a bit better. Yeah, it's a bit better. So if we just take our camera from here, and we look at it, like, at this angle, it's okay. I think we've got something here, for sure. Now, we can make this look a bit better, right? Let's grab, again, the trees that we used over in the other place. Grab our line tool. When I was happy with the spacing of 14, and just create a little bunch of trees just between these places. We can even just start there. It's not in front of them, but just between them. Makes it look a little bit nicer, I think. Just a little bit. Alright, we'll speed time up as it's now nighttime. We'll wait for some of these things to grow in, hopefully develop okay. We'll keep an eye on our traffic. Another thing I wanted to do, though, just while it's nighttime, actually, we can just extend this road along. We're going to have to go pretty far down, actually, all the way to here. Join that in there. Now, this, to prevent cars doing something I don't want them to do, I'm going to just tell truck traffic on the way in not to be there. See, trucks are not allowed to come in this way. They can leave this way, but just don't go in that way. I want them to use this road primarily. And another thing we can do with this road, I noticed before, it's got a bunch of traffic lights for pedestrian crossings. It doesn't really need them. So that should be fine. That one needs one, obviously, because it's a busy junction, but I think that's pretty much it. We can also maybe Just while the thing passes by. Reshape this. Look a little bit better. Well, the street lights went off apparently. Now this is kind of temporary, right? Oh, it's kind of. There will be a road here. It might not be this exact shape, but it will be like this, and this will be one of the foundations for as we build out this area. Similar thing's going to have to happen down here. We have this rail line now. This perfect area around here for doing like a nice big town. Kind of a beach town, I guess. Almost a coastal town, I guess. A coastal suburb, in a way. And they'll have direct access onto this main road that can take them out to the highway. They're next to a rail line, so good area for them as well to have their own train station. Alright, let's see. Did this help anything? This is 0 garbage, by the way, now, so we can finally move it. Just move it down here, temporarily. We'll do something else with it in the future, but that can be a collector for all these things. So we've got a lot of empty space around this now, but I'm seeing slightly better traffic here. Slightly. More free-flowing anyway, not stopping on top of each other as much. Although a little bit. They still back up with each other. It's such a crying shame that happens. But at least they're not backing up on the 2 buildings though anymore. Now we'll have to follow some trucks as they come out and see, is anyone taking my route straight out? Or did I make a mistake? So I'm gonna wait. This train is just pulled in. Trucks are coming out now. And we'll just see if anyone goes straight on. So far, nobody. Now, ideally, they're all going to there, so that's totally fine. Oh, these guys went straight on. Good for them. So let's see where you're going. You're going to Super Pharmacy and Mega Shopping Center. So the Mega Shopping Center is down here. Again, would have been probably more ideal to come in this way. And what about the other place? The Super Pharmacy, again, is down there. Where? It's down here. You're supplying this one. See what I'm saying? Like, this train terminal has just supplied this building rather than this one. There's a big load, fat load coming in here. It's got room for more. It's such a shame that it's happening this way. But let's follow this journey, though, shall we? See where he goes. So they're avoiding the side streets, which is obviously what we want. We're trying to direct traffic out this way. It's going quite slow, I gotta say. Alright, he's on the main road now. Now he's on the outer loop. Be interesting to see how he gets down to the docks, actually. Or the waterfront. The big issue with the waterfront is the only way down to it, there's, you know... I would imagine in real life there'd be steps that would carry you down for people who are walking down. But if you're driving down, you have to go... Or even if you're walking down, you have to go from a real far distance. It's hard to explain without looking at it. We'll look at it in a second. So he didn't take a left turn in there, so that's good. We've blocked that off. I don't want them traveling that way. I want them using this road. Oh my god, it's freaking out. I don't know why it's freaking out. Sorry for the twitchy camera. I'm not doing anything. It's just him. Can't decide if he's... Maybe it's when he's making new pathfinding choices. Are you going to take a left now? Probably, right? Yep. Okay. Oh, we can actually see people using this area already. There we go. So this is what I was talking about. Sorry. So if you wanted it... You'd think for a waterfront this size, right, a quay wall... If you were, you know, here and you wanted to get down to the shops or the marina or whatever, you have to walk quite a long distance to get down. But that's just because I don't know in the game if there's a way to build like steps into a quay wall. But that's what you'd have in real life. That's why I tried to make my own makeshift one here. But it has to kind of wrap around quite far to be able to work correctly. And if I move this road out, then terrain is all kind of messy. So it's just kind of the way it has to be, I feel like. I wonder, is he going to travel all the way back to where he came from, or could he just park in there now? I would take it if he could park in there. At least it would still cut down some of the journey. But I imagine he has to go all the way back. Returning to facility. Yeah, he's going all the way back. But now he can actually take that outer road as well if he wanted to. So we're getting some traffic building up here now. So it's the peak of the day. Let's have a look at what the traffic's like. It's 72. That's actually a bit better than what it was, although so red around here. Holy crap. Is this all truck traffic? No, it's private vehicles, actually. Oh, I remember. This is an issue here. I meant to clear this, actually. This crosswalk, for whatever reason, I can't put a traffic light on it. I don't know why. So I'm just going to say you can't have a crosswalk there. And this should keep cars flowing a lot better, I think. And if they want to cross over, they just have to use the one down there or the one here. It's just a bit of a glitchy one, I think. Yeah, for whatever reason, this is like the road that's slowing people down a lot. I don't know what's necessarily the problem. Like, why are people stopping here? It's like they're... Yeah. Don't know. They're pulling in and out of the different pedestrian zones. And this is a loop area for them to drop off or pick up people. Maybe their rule should be they can only turn right or something. That might be annoying for them, but it would stop all this hesitation and this backing up that's going on here. Let's just temporarily just test that out. So let's say you can only turn right. It's a bit messy because it's 2 lanes, but we'll see what happens. They're still stopping there, you know what I mean? Like, why are they doing that? I don't know why they're doing that. Yeah, weird. Just not sure. I guess it's because there's a junction here. Technically, this is a junction and this is. So maybe it's just a messy kind of thing. But that's already kind of smoothened it out a bit. A little bit. Alright, we'll pull back for a sec. 72. We've definitely seemed to have eased some of the problems that are around here. This has gone from red to green, but I'm just wondering, have I shifted it down here now? Is that what I've just done, really? And, maybe we could also join this to here. And again, it's the type of thing where I don't really want people pulling in there if they're a truck. But coming out, that's fine. Alright. Let's have a look at our public transport. I noticed that there's just tons of people outside the Botanical Garden. A few of these different areas seem to have just huge amounts of people on them. Let's have a look around this way. That's fairly empty, actually. Oh, maybe not. I thought there was actually way more people waiting, but it seems to have reduced over time for some reason. Now, there's multiple lines that cross over at the Botanical Garden. Yeah, nothing too bad on that one. And the Outer East Loop. 218, and where's that? That's all the way down here. Wow. A lot of trams on this one. Don't think they need any more. I think it's been relatively well serviced. They're about to get picked up here, a lot of them anyway. Down to 140. Another 150 down at the Botanical Garden. Something I do need to do is add an extra point for the yellow tram service. And that's for the pedestrian zone. So just hover over that line, add in a stop there, and just drag that stop down to here. That should help them out a bit as well with getting around. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this so far. What the problem is there? They're trying to get into the left lane, I guess. Left lane to go in there, and this is right lane to go over. People who don't need to go here at all, they go through here. Now that's weird. You shouldn't come down that way and then take a left. In fact, that should be impossible. Because where are you going? I'm so confused by that. It's very strange why you do this. I guess actually maybe it's not a problem. Sorry, I'm getting really down in the weeds with some of these like specific roads. It's actually fine, but it's just a little strange if you're here. Oh no, I guess yeah, it's a little strange to come out of here to go around and get back on that road. Bit weird. Oh, I know why. Yeah. It's because you're going up here and then you turn right to go back into your thing. Actually, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, fine. Never mind then. Yeah, that's okay. All right, it's working as intended. How's our schools doing? So we now have 620 out of 620. Wow, straight away. 900 out of 900. They're just maxed out already. And then the high school is at 1100 out of 1200. Wow, never seen them fill up that fast. God damn. Got a little pathways crossing between. There's nothing here. That's a good spot for something. And I don't know if these pathways actually join, even though they look like they do. I think you still have to put down your own ones just to like kind of force them to do it. So I'll just do something like this and move it into position. So there you go. There you go. Alright, nice. So, traffic in the dead of night. How are we doing? 73? Well, it's basically the same as it was. We've crossed over 90,000 now, and we have just won. Actually, not that long ago, because the match takes place on the 6th month, but it ends on the 7th. So just 3 months ago, not even, but two months and a week, we just won our game. Probably missed it when exactly it happened. How's the waterfront coming along and the job situation? So there's not enough, what, educated workers down here. This is why I didn't want to zone the whole thing yet. As nice as it's actually coming together, I think, yeah, it's just unfortunate we can't really fill these buildings just yet. Too many uneducated. But that's why we gotta wait for these guys to come out of school. We could also, if there's too many uneducated, like I said, zone some fresh industry for those guys. So just rezone a couple of these old areas. And I'll take away the ones that are down here. Maybe force them out a bit. Yeah, there's too many uneducated. In fact, it's gonna get rid of almost everything. I need some of the power to join across, so we'll just leave like 1 or 2 buildings. But until the education kind of balances out, unfortunately we have to zone it when we're ready. Just make sure they take these other jobs first, effectively. And I'm sure they will. Alright, cool. That's pretty much everything I wanted to do. Oh god, these guys don't have water. Whoops. Uh-oh, so neither do these. Oh, there's nothing there anymore. Oh yeah, I thought that was going all the way out to the airport. Good. Alright, let's follow maybe a journey from the airport. We've got a lot of taxis coming down here, as expected. So picking up Bradley Hunter. Let's follow this little journey. It's nice to follow the cars and see where they go sometimes. It's always down real foggy down by the airport because of we're on the edge of the map, basically. So we're on ×2 speed. We'll just follow this guy's journey, and that'll probably be it for the end of this episode. I know some people have been asking for a while, actually, to kind of zoom in and pay attention to a bit more about people's everyday journeys around the city. So we'll see where this guy is going, Bradley Hunter. He's waiting down here for us, is he? Is this Bradley? That's Walter Cooper. Bradley Hunter, there he is. Traveling to Octa Hotel. Wow, okay, so that's all the way in the pedestrian area. Yeah, cool, let's follow this then. See how he gets there. Alright, off we go. I guess we can hide the UI, right? We don't need to see it. Just have a little look. Coming out of the airport. Airport's super busy. But yeah, it's so crazy the way people are just waiting in all these random positions out here, rather than just waiting at the... It'd be so cool if the people waited at taxi stands. They just kind of wait wherever, it feels like. And we've got a black cab. So the black cabs are the ones that actually come from the airport. So this guy must have come from one of our taxi depots, come into the airport area, and is picking people up to bring them out. We're going to go onto my Halo interchange. Looks like we're going straight for the highway, judging by his lane choice. Yep. Good stuff. Merging smoothly. Okay. That guy did a bit of a crazy maneuver. Oh, we're picking up speed out of the fog. Heading into the City of Swords. Can't decide if he's going to overtake that van or not. Are we taking a right? We should be. Alright, and now this is where the traffic is going to start to get a little bit heavy. It's taking the fast lane. Love to see it. Now I wonder where he's going to drop this guy off in terms of... Is it going to be outside the pedestrian zone, or is he actually going to go right outside the hotel on the side of the pedestrian zone and drop him off there? A lot of people... Sorry, I should say it's dropped him off like right in front here, or is he going to go around and tuck him in? I was also thinking, maybe a radical idea, but I was thinking of removing trucks from using this road to come into the city, but they could use it to get out. Don't know if that would do anything, but I'd be kind of tempted just to run that as an experiment and force the use of our terminals. So the only way into the city then would be to use this road, for trucks that is, or to come in via either the harbor or the rail, because this one gets backed up for quite a long time. Man, we're making great progress. Yeah, so he didn't take a right turn there, so it looks like he's probably dropping him off somewhere up here. This needs to be made a taxi kind of road. He should be in the taxi lane. Look at him stopping here, causing all sorts of problems. And that's Bradley Hunter out. Good. Let's just do that really quickly, because these are the things I often miss when you don't specifically check for them. So we're not allowing pedestrian vehicles or trucks. We're allowing taxis to do whatever they want. I'm going to say no. Taxis and buses, you should use those lanes, please. Same with here. So, no, 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 no. And I'm holding shift so we can do it for the full length of the road before the next junction. So the next taxis that come in, let's see if we can find one. There's just one there. Small glass roof plaza. Oh. Small glass roof plaza. Let's see where this guy goes. He should take a turn into the taxi lane. Sunken Plaza Shopping Mall. Alright, let's follow this guy. He should take a turn into the taxi lane when the lights turn green. Alright, here we go. Took him a while to get into it, but he's in it now, I guess, which is good enough for me. And obviously the pedestrians that are pulling over that want to get in here, they can do that too. Their cars just disappear when they get in here, so I'm fine with that. And then he's staying in his lane, which is good. So this is the problem with these things, and this is why they actually don't really use the lanes as much as they should. It's because this doesn't really have the option to go into a variety of different places. And it's a similar sort of thing here. It's like, yeah, the specific lanes should be connected to each other. Just to give them the option to say, like, yeah, you can do that. He probably turned right because he had no other option. But now he does in future. Alright, anyways, that's going to have to be pretty much it. I'm pretty happy. So, you know, mixed results in some regards, although kind of what I expected. The traffic problem did improve slightly. We slightly eased congestion here, although not totally, clearly. Yeah, it seems like some trucks that are returning to facility, you know, they're going to come up this way, go through here, and go in there. So it's like the ones returning to facility are just getting bunched up with the ones trying to get to here, I guess, and that's causing slight delays and issues. It's not as bad as it actually looks, though, so I'm happy enough with that. We've eased congestion slightly. I think I will, in the next episode, run this experiment of reducing truck traffic here. There's not that many trucks. I would say it's maybe 30% of the traffic coming in. Just as a coming in thing. They can go out that way if they want. That's totally fine. But I'd love to see what that would do for the traffic situation. And would it mean that they use this road more? That's really what I want to encourage. And that's what I was trying to do with this, right? More cars are being told, you have to come out here and make use of this outer loop rather than using the inner streets. So that should hopefully work for us. Alright, and the very last thing, we'll just check how our industry is coming back to life. Yeah, it's good. And look at this, 32 out of 32. Pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Population... Unemployment 4%, so we've got still about 3,000 jobs, 4,000 really, that need to be filled. So unemployment actually got a little bit worse, but I think give it a bit of time as these people move in. These jobs will get filled, and things will sort out a little bit better going forward, especially as they get educated now with our new educational services. Most happy with this area. I think it's actually coming together quite nice, but I'm not really sure now what's going to go in this big block right here. This will be a small town, and once those two areas are done, that might be it for this city, really. Probably clean up some of the industry area a little bit, but other than that, that'll be it. I don't want to expand the industry area because we don't have enough people to fill all these jobs, basically. Alright, that's going to have to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.